For Brock, please. Brock, obviously you've made the interesting decision to represent the nation of Canada this week. Curious kind of what went into your thought process there and how you made the decision to rep the Canadian flag.
Quite simple. I live there. So that's how simple it is.
I think people were wondering if maybe there was a political statement there. You've made some statements in the past. Is there any further motivation?
I won't get into that. We'll keep it simple.
Fair enough. Brock, you talked about coming back and your desire for competition. I wonder, how do you measure success here? I mean, does it have to be a victory to feel like you made the right choice and made the right steps here? Or can you go in and be competitive and feel like you accomplished what you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I don't think, obviously I'm here to win a fight, but it's fighting and anything can happen, but I'm prepared for whatever. I don't think it's going to define me. I'm just happy to be here. I really am. It's no bullshit. This is exciting. I'm on the card of UFC 200.
And just lastly for you, Brock, if I could, it's been clear that this is a one-off, but I do wonder, is there any part of you inside that thinks if I go in and I'm successful and I'm right back to where I was when I was champion, that maybe this could launch a little bit of a continued career?
Oh, this may be a teaser. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have no idea. I never say never, We'll see.
Okay, guys, I got a question for Brock Lesnar. Brock, over here. Obviously, we saw you got your blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm just curious, when you look back at your grappling ability before, obviously you were a top-level wrestler to now where you've actually picked up a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and now you're a blue belt. What do you see as the difference? Where do you see yourself now in your grappling ability compared to back when you finished out your career?
Well, obviously my goal is to be a 5th-degree black belt. To me, jiu-jitsu is fun. It's part of the game. Along with stand-up, you train in all disciplines. So I mean, it was time for Compredo to. I guess I never asked for it, nor do I really. I don't really care if I have a belt or not. I guess not to be to downgrade it or anything. I think it's just it's a process to. I don't know, it's just a label, and for me, it was an honor for Compredo to actually bring it up. And he said it's time for me to issue this to you. So I never thought twice about it.
Obviously, a lot of people know you because you're a great grappler, a great fighter, but obviously Mark's got the advantage in the striking. I'm just curious, did you continue to work on your striking after you finished your career with the UFC and while you were in the WWE? Did you keep training on your abilities? And how long have you been training in the striking, and who have you been training with, and how often would you do it?
Yeah, like when I left the sport, I love the sport, so I didn't want to. It's just been a part of me, so I never really left. I've worked with Pat Barry, Greg Nelson. Whenever it worked out for me to be able to hit mitts or to work on things, absolutely. And it wasn't like I just called all these people up. I've worked with them. Ever since I left the octagon.
Hey, Brock, question for you. Can you explain your health status when you said you left because you weren't healthy? When did you start to feel better, and did you have any other procedures after you left the UFC and before you came back?
Well, I think it was like day 49 after I left. Like, I can't remember the exact hour. I feel fucking awesome. Why does it matter? I'm here.
Did it affect you at all in your wrestling career? Did you have any issues when you were wrestling before this?
My health is behind me. I'm sitting here at UFC 200 soaking it all in. I don't know. I feel great. It's good to be here. It's good to be back. There's nothing else to say. It's just I'm here. I feel great. That's it.
Brock, clearly you're excited to be back here in the UFC, and clearly the fans are excited to have you back. You know the relationship you have with Vince McMahon. If you go to him after a victory and say, hey, I'd like to do this occasionally a couple more times, will he allow you to do that? Can you do that?
I guess that's not a question for me. That's a question for Vince McMahon, right? So I don't know. We'll get through Saturday and see what happens. I have no idea.
Do you plan to do that with the victory? Ask for that.
After Saturday, I think I'm booked for August, so I don't know. We'll get through Saturday. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Great. Misha,
Okay.
for you.
And just a couple for Brock. Good to see you again, Brock. Right over here. It has been almost 6 years, actually 5.5 years, I believe, since you were last here. Did you have a moment yesterday when you checked in and looked around and maybe smelled the roses and said, well, I can't believe I'm actually here again? Is it somewhat surreal? Because I remember in the ESPN interview last year, you essentially said that you weren't going to fight again. So did you have a moment where you were almost taken aback that you actually made it all the way back here?
Yeah, actually, when I flew in, I've been taking it all in, because in years past, you kind of just, I took it for granted. Not only take it for granted, but I wasn't mentally in the right place. So, yeah, 100%. I'm really happy to walk in and check in. Everything. It boils down to everything. Even flying into Vegas. I've flown into Vegas before and past. When I retired, and just had that same feeling of, this city's been great to me, and so yeah, 100%.
And then two last quick ones. Eddie Alvarez said recently that he sparred 150 rounds for his title fight tomorrow. This all came together rather quickly for you. How many rounds did you spar for this fight?
What did you say?
I was wondering how many rounds you were able to spar for this fight, because
3,000.
Okay.
3,000.
That's impressive. Thank you, bro.